Hello students, in the age of industrialization part 1 we have talked about what is industrial revolution and what were the major factors of the industrial revolution. Today in age of industrialization part 2 we are going to learn about inventions of the industrial revolution. The factory system had developed due to the discovery of a new source of energy which would easily operate the machines. Heavy machines were of no use if there was no effective power to operate it. Manpower was insufficient and water was not available everywhere. Thus, it was the need of the hour to invent such a source of energy which would overcome these effects. Thomas Newcomen had already discovered the steam engine, but it could not be used economically. Thus, James Watt improvised it in such a way that it could be easily put into operation. You can see both the steam engine in the slides. This steam engine was so smooth to operate and powerful that it surpassed all other sources of power. Textile industry. The earliest mechanical inventions had taken place in the textile industry due to a high demand for textiles from the ever-increasing population and an ever-expanding British Empire. The numerous inventions in this field had transformed the British cotton industry, and England now became famous as the workshop of the world. The transformation of raw cotton into the finished cloth is brought about in two stages: spinning and weaving. The spinning process involves the separation of cotton from its seeds and transforming the raw cotton into cotton yarn. The weaving process involves weaving of cotton yarn into cotton cloth. The two processes of spinning and weaving were now done at a faster rate due to the inventions of the machines. Now let us have a look at few of them. The first one is cotton gin. It was invented by Ali Whitney and it had separated the raw cotton from its seeds. This had enabled the workers to get a larger amount of cotton to process upon. Another invention was spinning jenny. James Hargreaves discovered this machine, which could now spin 8 threads at the same time instead of 1 as it was done earlier. Thus, it could do the work of 8 laborers. Water frame was yet another invention in the textile industry. It was discovered by Richard Arkwright. This machine spun a stronger and a firmer thread, and it was cost effective since it was operated with water. Its only drawback was that it was heavy and had to be installed in factories which were close to the water resources. Samuel Crompton was successful in inventing a machine called Mule, which had overcome the drawbacks of the earlier machines. This machine had not only spun fine and stronger threads, but it was much more faster than the earlier machines. John Kay, a machinist, invented a shuttle that sped back and forth on wheels. This machine, to which yarn was attached, doubled the amount of work a weaver could do in a day. This modernized the cotton industry and had to shorten the long hours a person would have to work. Power loom was invented by Edmund Cartwright. Water was used to operate it. It speeded up the process of weaving because now a weaver could weave more threads at the same time. Now we shall see a video which illustrates inventions in the textile industry during Industrial Revolution.
In the 1760s, two new machines, the spinning jenny and the water frame, caused a revolution in the textile industry because both machines markedly sped up the process of making thread for weaving. These machines were adapted to use the power of flowing water, or hydraulic power. This means that the motion of the water would turn a wheel that was connected by a complicated system of pulleys and belts used to run the machines. Another machine, called the spinning mule, was developed later in the 1700s. When it was hooked up to water power, just one person could do the work of 3,000 hand spinners. The new textile machines were extremely efficient at producing the fine thread needed to make high-quality cloth, and they caused the cottage spinning industry to collapse soon after they were introduced. A little later, mechanized power looms were developed that used water power instead of human muscle power to weave thread into cloth. One important invention adapted to power weaving from hand looms was a mechanized version of the flying shuttle seen here. This was a special device used to rapidly weave across thread through the webs of thread on the loom. On power looms, this process took place at an incredible speed when compared to doing it by hand. It is not surprising that the much more efficient power looms rapidly ended the cottage weaving industry. In England in 1811, unemployed home textile workers, called the Luddites, got so angry about losing their jobs that they rioted and tried to destroy the new textile machines.
Now we shall have a look at the inventions in iron and coal industry. The Industrial Revolution would not have been possible without the use of coal and iron. Coal provided the power to drive the steam engines, and iron was needed to make the different kinds of tools, build bridges and ships. The larger deposits of coal and iron had benefited the British manufacturers. An Englishman, Abraham Darby, invented coke smelting process and advanced the mass production of brass and iron goods. Abraham Darby scientifically studied brass production and was able to make advances in that industry that turned Great Britain into an important brass goods exporter. Safety lamp was yet another invention in the coal industry. Sir Humphrey Davy invented a safety lamp to ensure the safety of the miners working in the coal mines. This lamp issued a warning to the miners when the level of carbon dioxide in the mines would increase and there was a danger to their lives. In the next part of the age of industrialization, we are going to talk about transportation industry and communication, agricultural revolution, and impact of industrialization on British India. Thank you.